What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bucco Territory, presented to you by the Foul Territory Network. I'm your host, Noah Hiles. Joining me, as always, are my co-hosts, Platinum Key, a.k.a. Mark, and Josh Harrison. It's a Mailbag Wednesday. We've got a whole bunch of questions to get into, and we'll just start it off now. Mark, what's the first question of the day?
Yes, our first question comes to us from PB, who asks, between starting pitching, bullpen, infield, and outfield, which group has the pod crew been most impressed with early in the season?
Josh, I'll let you start.
I don't know if you all have the same answer. You might. And I mean, starting pitching. We knew coming into the season going to be a strength, but just to see what they've been able to do from the early part of the season, I would say, from all the games, I would say, even with Bubba's comments after his start, I would still say that they've been the most consistent and really keeping this team where it has been, even though the offense got a little hot. I would say starting pitching for me.
Yeah, that's exactly where my mind went to as well. I mean, this team's cooking right now, and Paul Skeens has a 9 or something ERA or 7. It's high, but they haven't allowed a single home run yet, which is crazy. Longest streak for the Pirates since I think like 94 or something. It's been a long time, and so you're going to give up a couple here and there, but seeing the pitching staff limiting weak contact has been really exciting to see. What about you, Noah?
Yeah, I mean, to be different, I guess I'll go with the infield. You can't go with the outfield.
No,
obviously.
Not right now. Yeah.
Even though 2 of the 3 guys in the outfield are crushing the baseball right now. I mean, the outfield defense has been atrocious. And the infield defense hasn't been amazing. I mean, it's gotten a lot better since Konnor Griffin arrived. Oh, yeah. And you pair that with Brandon Lau's offensive production. I mean, you're getting good hitting out of York and Gonzalez right now. And then Horowitz has been better at home as opposed to how he started on the road this year. So, yeah, I'd go with the infield just to be different. I mean, the starting pitching has been really good. I think their only weakness so far is just giving up free passes. The rotation and bullpen combined, I mean, they're all walking a lot of batters. But, I mean, like what Bubba said after his start Monday night, I mean, it's ironic. Like, even if he allowed 1 run, it wouldn't have mattered because they got shut out. So that loss isn't on him too much, and a couple of those runs – or just a product of bad defense. So, and he still has like a 3.12 ERA on the season. So he's not the problem right now. Although, good look on him by taking accountability there, and he knows he can be better, and I think he will be. Absolutely. So yeah, I'll go with the infield, and the starting pitching isn't far behind.
Yeah, and just to be one more different answer, I'd say a new group would be just the newcomers outside of Ozuna.
Yeah.
Lau and O'Hearn just have been perfect fits on the field, off the field, it seems like. So I've been really impressed with those 2 guys. All right, next question here comes to us from Tyler Frey, who asks, what's the status on the KG contract, and do you think Pirates will pull their offer or reduce it if the early offensive drought continues? Let's turn this one over to Noah.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you guys are hearing from your sources.
Yeah,
so, I mean, I'll let you chime in first now. So the latest conversations I've had about this came on Saturday, and I was told that there was expected to be more dialogue between the Pirates and Griffin Sunday and Monday. Haven't heard anything new as of the time of this recording, which we're recording this on Tuesday at 1:37 p.m. right now. So if news breaks at 2 o'clock, then obviously things changed, but as of Tuesday afternoon, they're still talking. So I know there were some reports that came out the day of his promotion that suggested that they were really close to a deal. And I hate like trying to discredit other reporters. I think that's very lame. But for the sake of like clarity here, I've been told by 5 people. I was told by 5 people within 24 hours of that report from ESPN that there was no deal. There was no handshake deal. Like, like, hey, let's get this deal in place, and then we'll have him play a game, and it'll be signed. Leading up to that promotion, it was my understanding that the talks had been kind of slow, that they had slowed down after they optioned Konnor to AAA in spring training. I was told by people that I really trust that the Pirates probably would not have promoted him if they did not feel a contract extension was going to get done. But that can be true without a handshake deal being in place.
Right.
And I think that's the case here. I think the Pirates, A, recognized that they needed to be better defensively, and that's what Konnor Griffin adds to this team. So that's why they brought him up. And B, they felt that, hey, if we bring him up now and we resume contract extension talks and we're, perhaps even more aggressive and push the pace for these things, that we can get a deal done. I still anticipate a deal getting done probably sometime this week if I had, and that's just a guess. But so the last that I've heard is, that 9/140, I don't know where that came from. Those weren't the numbers and figures that I have been hearing. But that could end up being what it was, but I had never heard that. There wasn't a deal in place when he was called up. I think that's abundantly clear by now, because if there was, it would have been signed. And it sounds like, to me, I was told that there was going to be some more dialogue on Sunday and Monday. We're recording this Tuesday, so I don't know how those conversations went. Maybe they went so well by the time this posts Wednesday morning, a deal's already done. Maybe there's still work to be done, but that's the latest I know. And as far as the back end of that question, I don't think Konnor's performance will have any influence over this contract extension. Now, I will say, if he hit 5 home runs in his first week as a big leaguer, it'd probably increase the price. But I don't think there was anything he could have done, barring getting injured, that would have probably, and I don't even know if injury would have hurt it, because you're looking at him as a long-term asset right now. You're not signing the player that he is right now, a 19-year-old. You're signing a guy that
say that again.
Right. Yeah. He's 19 years old. You're signing a guy that you think he's going to become. So with that in mind, I don't think a poor start at the plate as a big leaguer at 19 years old is going to hurt him much. I don't think it's going to slow down anything either. I think they're still working out the fine details, and we'll see when this thing gets done. But I nothing's done as of right now.
And I'll just add in one point of clarification that I've been seeing kind of misconstrued is this April 9th deadline. Yeah. So the Pirates go ahead, Noah.
Okay, so yes, because I became the journalism hero on Twitter by responding to one tweet yesterday, which wasn't my intention, but it's never fun to be compared to AI when you're a real person, unless you're getting compared to Allen Iverson, then I would take that. But artificial intelligence, no, don't like that. So the April 9th date, that date was relevant for Konnor's call-up. He's in the major leagues now. So forget the date of April 9th. It means nothing now. All that meant was, in order for him to remain PPI eligible, for the Pirates to get that reward pick if Konnor wins Rookie of the Year or gets a top 3 finish in MVP voting in any of his first 3 seasons as a big leaguer, he needs to get a full year of major league service time, which means he needs to spend 172 days or more in the major league. So the latest he could make that happen was if he arrived by April 9th. He's already here, so forget April 9th. Another date to keep in mind, though, I will say, is April 14th. And we talked about that on this show, because if a contract extension is signed after April 14th, whatever the terms are, they go into effect next year, meaning Konnor would play this entire season and on his rookie salary, his pre-arbitration deal, which is I forget what the league minimum now is.
I don't even know what the league minimum is, but he'd be playing for what he's playing
less
for
than
right
$1 million.
now.
He's playing exactly the salary that he's making right now. He would carry that through the rest of the year, and then the deal would go into effect next year. Why is that relevant? Because if you're representing Konnor Griffin, you want year 1 of that 8 or 9 year extension, however long it's going to be, to start now. Your job as an agent is to get your client to free agency as fast as possible, even within the construct of a deal that you agree to. So the Pirates, if they wait to get this deal done past April 14th, what that means is that, you might get another year of Konnor Griffin, but you're going to have to pay probably more now to get that extension done, because you're getting a year of Konnor Griffin for free, essentially. So that's the only date that really matters here now that he's in the major leagues. There's no other date that really pertains to the extension or service time. I mean, if he's optioned down at any point in time, the PPI compensation just kind of goes out the window. There's not really a way because he'd have to be down for 15 days if he's
Right.
optioned, and that takes away the opportunity for him to get 172 days of Major League service time. So yeah, April 14th, that's probably the target date where both sides would rather get this deal done. For the Pirates, it's for the sake of avoiding,
He'll
a
be
more
cheaper.
expensive deal. Yeah, it'd be cheaper for them. And for Griffin's side of things, it means, the payday goes into effect now and he starts playing under the terms of which that contract extension would be agreed to. So there's everything I know on that subject, and that I've been living and breathing, and I'm ready to stop reporting on whenever this deal can get done.
I was going to say I had no comments. You covered it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, real quick, we'll stop to take a brief break for a word from our sponsors.
With over 35 million downloads, what is the number one rated ticketing app, Todd Father?
It's simple, man. SeatGeek, as we know, man, they have a lot of things that helps you out along the way. They have green dots meaning good and red dots meaning bad, and it's on a scale of 1 to 10 showing you, Scott, how good the seats are. And sometimes you want to sit in the nosebleeds, or sometimes you want to sit in really good seats. And Scott, you know the code, right?
Yeah, I do. And also, I know that you always like a good deal.
Always.
So SeatGeek helps you out all the time with that. They also help you out with the exclusive FT code, which is Territory 10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code TERRITORY10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app, and you can have that code automatically added to your account so that you can use it later. There are regular season MLB games going on right now. There are hot tickets across the country, so make sure you go to SeatGeek. They will take care of you.
All right, next question.
All right. Our next question comes to us from Dave Thomas, who asks, because we don't often see a position player promoted as quickly as Griffin, it is hard to know what to expect. He's obviously back to being challenged at the plate by what he has seen. It is very early, no panic, but what might the Pirates' approach be with patience?
Josh, I'll let you start here.
Yeah. I was about to say I'll start with that one. Their approach with the patience is going to be exactly what we've already seen. That they're trying to, just from the outside looking in, not put too much of a pressure on him to feel like he's got to, be Pittsburgh Pirates savior. Because if that was the case, we'd see him leading off and, being at the forefront of everything. The patience you can see is them obviously, having him at the bottom third of the lineup, matchup based off of, some guys having a day off, whether he's hitting 6th, 7th. But defensively, he's playing well. He's holding his own. So the patience that they have for him, that obviously helps with the patience that they would be willing to give offensively. But I don't really foresee their patience wearing thin, because as you stated from the previous question, they're looking to sign this guy long term for what the future is going to hold. So these first 3 games, 3-4 games, they're not looking at to be like, oh, we got to hit the panic button. They're still going to continue the patient approach. He's a 19-year-old that has never played in the major leagues before, has been a part of 2 spring trainings. So there are still going to be a lot of firsts that he has to cross. I don't care how many spring training games you play for big leagues. There's going to be a lot of firsts he's going to cross, because you only got half of the league in Florida. And half of that league, he didn't even play. He only played against, the ones that are in his general area. So it's one thing seeing something on iPad or video, how this guy pitches, but the more that you play and you see familiarity and you start to get that, I think we'll see him get a little bit more comfortable. But I don't think it's anything that they change their patient approach, because I think they have been patient with this. Because if they were really impatient, he would have started the season in the big leagues. So they're taking every precaution that they can to make sure that they're not overwhelming, this 19-year-old kid who they obviously know is a big part of their future.
Yeah, and it takes a little bit of time to get acclimated into MLB. That's a big jump. And we've seen it with Hall of Fame players from Ken Griffey Jr. to Mike Trout, who had to be optioned back down, where, yeah, they're the future superstars, but there's a transition period. And so I think it's perfectly okay that Konnor hasn't put up the results that we've seen him put up in the minors yet. I've been really encouraged, not just by his defense, but his approach at the plate. He's seen a lot of pitches. He's getting on base where he can. He's not chasing a lot. So the hits will come as he gets more comfortable. But yeah, you got to give this kid all the time in the world, because the more time you give him now, the better Pittsburgh Pirates are going to be for years and years to come as he gets comfortable. So,
and to wrap it up,
before I was just gonna say, Mark, you made a good point. He's getting on base, so might not be coming in hits all the time, but if you're getting on base, that is a big thing to say. You know what? I mean, I think Shohei still has the longest on base streak right now, right?
Sure,
so that goes with that. That's not a hitting streak, but that's getting on base, so that's another positive. And sorry to cut you off, Noah.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say they really don't have any other choice but to let him work through this either. I mean, one, for the PPI, but more importantly, I mean, this guy's making an impact defensively. He's top 5 in baseball, or shortstops in defensive
shortstops for
already.
DRS.
Shortstops for defensive runs saved, and he's only played 4 games, so he has half the sample sizes of everyone else. And without him, their left side of the infield's a mess. I mean, Jared Triolo was the guy that they could not afford to get hurt on this team, considering that he's their only other real option to play shortstop, and he's their only other true option at third base. So with him down, you already have the hot corner playing out of position. Now, you can get away with that if York and Gonzalez continue to hit. You can sacrifice bad defense on the corner for above average offense, and that's what they're getting right now. But if you option Konnor Griffin down, your everyday left side cannot be Gonzalez at short and York at third. You're not getting anything close to what you would need defensively. And as bad as you are defensively in the outfield right now, you can't make your defense worse. So they don't really have an option. Konnor Griffin was called up. I mean, partially, yes, because I think the Pirates believe that they can get an extension done. I know the Pirates really value this PPI compensation opportunity. Those reasons play a part in it. But also, like, he makes this team better, even by doing what he's doing now, which I know he's hitting under 100. Like you guys mentioned, he's getting on base like pretty much once a game, either through a walk or a hit batter or something like that. Essentially, if he can just hit like something a little better than Henry Davis next year or last year, which obviously was not very good. But if he can hit around 200, his defense will make this all worth it. By the way this team's constructed. Unless they go out and make a trade for an established veteran who can play on the left side of the infield, either at short or third, then you have to roll with Griffin here, because you can't have 2 people playing out of position on your left side of the infield at the same time. It's just something you cannot do.
Not with this outfield.
Especially at shortstop. That's up the middle.
So he's here.
Yep. All right. Next question here comes to us from Konnor Griffin enthusiast. How long of a leash do you give Ozuna to figure it out?
I mean, I think we kind of talked about this a little bit. Because Ozuna had his comments about, he deserved to be booed. And obviously the money situation is going to be a longer leash than some people probably would like. But at the same time, we're still talking, 8-9 games in. I know people don't like to hear us early, which I don't like that statement either, because you'll find yourself 2 months in and people saying, oh, it's still early. Well, yes, it is, but technically it's not. But, when you got guys that are veterans like that, I mean, you really can't make a judgment, especially when a guy has a track record like that, without seeing at least, 100 ABs, 100 plate appearances. And I don't know if that's what the Pirates, but as you say, you got money invested in this guy, and not a little bit of money. So they're going to try to get out of him what they signed him for. So the leash is going to be a little bit longer, but I think we hit it in the last conversation about him. You'll see them try to find favorable matchups early on to try to help him get out of this early, horrendous start, for his part.
And he has the power to turn things on really quickly. We saw it already. We had these questions about Oneil Cruz. Should he be going to AAA? Well, now you look at his OPS after 4 home runs and a hot streak these past few games, and it's a completely different narrative around Oneil Cruz. So you have to give Ozuna some time because a few games can completely shift the narrative. We saw that with Rowdy Tellez even. There's that little stretch of Rowdy streak where even he found his footing. But hopefully it doesn't take Ozuna that long because this team is trying to be competitive, which is different this year. So, if he's really, really struggling, maybe he has like something pop up where he needs to go take a 10-day IL stint or something and figure things out. But you got to give him a long leash.
Yeah, I just don't want to see that leash be too long. Like, I don't think this is something you can ride out until the end of May, like we've seen with other guys. Yeah. And that's been the case, like, for what this looks to be trending toward. Because in other instances, like, let's compare Tommy Pham to Ozuna. Pham at least was playing good defense last April and May. And so he was providing value. Tellez wasn't, but they had Connor Joe as like a alternative. And Rowdy's playing time. Yeah, Rowdy's playing time kind of took a big dip in May before they like ultimately pulled the plug, or got close to pulling the plug, I should say. So, and Michael A. Taylor, same thing. Like, he was a great defender. So they got something. With Ozuna, not only does he provide no defensive value, he makes your defense worse in a way. Like, where if you want to DH Reynolds or Cruz and have Mangum at either left or center, you have more value out there right now. So that's why I think you ride it out for this month, and then you have to make some hard decisions. I don't see them completely giving up, but I think he stays a regular in the lineup for April or close to being a regular. And if this continues, then he's a platoon DH. And you DH Reynolds against right-handers and Ozuna starts against lefties. And if that keeps going south, then you might have to cut bait. But I don't think you're anywhere close to that right now, just off of the way things are.
Sounds good. All right. Final question here comes from Dakota Smith. Do you think the Pirates will ever explore Cruz at DH if he continues to struggle at center field and Ozuna continues to struggle?
Let me start here.
Yeah.
The reality is they have 3 outfielders who probably should be designated hitters right now. That's just the harsh truth of it. I mean, O'Hearn, for all intents and purposes, has been a fine defensive outfielder. Yeah. He doesn't even belong out there. Like, he should have been playing first base. He signed to be a DH and a first baseman, essentially, and be like a spot player out in the outfield. And he's been fine. But yeah, like Reynolds, that's, again, like, I remember when Ozuna was signed, I took a lot of flack on social media for kind of pointing out what's happening right now, where if this dude doesn't perform, he hurts you in multiple ways. Yeah. He's a hole in your lineup, and he's making you play guys out of position. And because you didn't go get someone who can play on the left side of the infield, now you already have someone playing out of position at third base. And if you want to give Connor a day off, now you have someone playing out of position at shortstop. And left field is not an easy thing to play at PNC Park. So to have someone like Reynolds out there who has just regressed defensively over the last 4 some odd years, it's not hard to see that. If you look at any defensive metrics, the only thing that's his saving grace is his arm. And when you're playing in that big of a spot, your arm isn't as valuable because you're catching more stuff on the run and everything. I mean, your arm bails you out a little bit more in right field at PNC Park because of the dimensions than left field. You need range in left field. And we saw Monday night what happens sometimes when that range is put to test. It's not good. And then you add in the communication issues that clearly exist right now with Cruz, how he's ran into or ran in front of both his right fielder and left fielder. So do you put him at DH? Sure, but I don't even know if he's the guy that should be DHing. It might be Reynolds. Yeah. Reynolds might be the better DH candidate out of the 2 right now, and that's not an endorsement on Cruz at all. I don't know if Cruz is ever going to look good in center field. It's just you've got 2 guys who, as things currently stand, are kind of a liability when the ball's hit their way. I mean, sometimes they'll make the play, sometimes they won't, and it's not fun to watch when the latter happens.
Yeah, and I'll just jump in and say, if they cut bait with Ozuna, I think they should just revert back to the rotating DH rather than have someone at full-time DH, whether it's Cruz or Reynolds or whoever. Just because, like you said, Noah, this outfield is basically 3 DHs out there. And so if we can get those guys at least fresh, maybe that helps them play a slightly better defense, and rotate them throughout that the DH spot. Maybe work Brandon Lau in, but Lau has looked just fine on defense as well. So, I don't think Cruz would be the first one to be DHing if Ozuna is no longer on the roster.
Guys, I have breaking. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Don't you do that to me now. Yeah.
No, all right, Josh, what do you got?
No, I was going to say, it's really nothing much for me to add other than I was just going to kind of say that the revolving door, I wouldn't say it would necessarily be Cruz, but it would be kind of a committee thing based off of, obviously, Mangum out in the outfield is obviously going to make your defense better, but at the same time, it's not making it better as a whole because we already mentioned you got 3 DHs out there. But I think it would be a situation of pitcher on the mound, matchups, okay, Oneil, you're going to DH today. Mangum, you're going to center. Well, you know what, tomorrow, Reynolds, you're going to DH.
Right.
Oneil, Mangum, just based off of, and then who knows, Triolo's hurt right now. As you mentioned, guys been out of position. Who knows what the roster shakeup will be? Who knows what happened? Maybe Password finds his way. I know or not even Password. Maybe somebody, maybe there's a trade. Who knows? I'm just throwing things out there, but I don't think it's just necessarily, it's going to be Oneil Cruz, because as you said, that doesn't just solve the defensive problem, because that outfield situation is going to continue to be a problem.
It's ironic because they did acquire 2 pretty good defensive outfielders this offseason. Just one of them can't find his way into the lineup, and one of them can't even find his way into the major leagues right now because the other moves they made created a convoluted logjam that no one has the answers to right now. So, like we tried to tell you.
Yep.
But hey, it's still early. Guys, any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Josh, go. Anything?
No, I'm just gonna steal y'all line and tell people to go subscribe.
There you go. Yeah.
Now, if y'all can think of anything else, go subscribe. Click the link as we see right there. Get you some swag, Bucco territory. We got all types of swag. If you want t-shirts, a hoodie, you got a Scully, you got a coffee mug, a snapback hat. Plenty of things to choose from. You can scan that QR code. Get you some swag, man. Support Bucco territory and hit that subscribe button.
Beautiful. And I'll just end by saying it was great seeing everyone at PNC. Awesome to see Adam, our listener, got his tickets to Monday's game. He was there with his cone, ready to go. So really awesome just to see everyone this past weekend, and looking forward to some great baseball here to come.
I'll round off by saying congratulations to Josh and Mark for winning my bracket poll. Oh, wait, no, I won.
I came in third.
April Fool's was last week, man.
Yeah.
Quite the comeback.
All right, so for Platinum Key, a.k.a. Mark and Josh Harrison, I'm Noah Hiles signing off saying thanks for tuning in to another episode of Bucco Territory presented to you by the Foul Territory Network.